Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So it's 4:05 and it's time to start the NFH presentation. So today, the NFH presentation is for the release 2021 R3. We will be 4 people to present the new features. It will be me for the distribution, Simon for trial kitting and NPI, Vincent for the web scheduling, and Paul for the PGM, new features. So, as a reminder, the objective of this event, in fact, new features highlight, is to present the key features from the Sages 3 2021 R3 release related to the financial distribution and manufacturing modules. So for today, will be presented distribution, web scheduling, and manufacturing and PGM. Concerning the finance new features, they will be presented the 13th of October. It will be at the same time, morning and afternoon, so if you want, you can register right now in Sage University. So the objective of this presentation is also to present you those new features. It's not a training, but the advantage here is to highlight the benefits of these new features. At the end of the presentation, tomorrow or the day after, an email will be sent to you with the link to the recorded presentation and also the PDF document. So this presentation at PDF format for the session. I will send you also a link to the enhanced package. This will be explained at the end of this presentation. So the objective is for the colleagues and partners to be aware of the new key features just after they are released to the market. The COX, in fact, task is also to identify if there is existing learning content or demo scripts for pre-sales, tutorials, or bootcamp, expert sessions. So depending on the details, the complexity, we may create demo scripts or bootcamps. And the objective is to understand the business benefits they can provide to your projects and customers. So 2 modules are covered today, distribution and manufacturing. For the distribution, I will start to present the distribution new features. And then the upcoming new features in the release 2021 R4. Then for the manufacturing part, we will have Vincent for the web scheduling, a demo. So in fact, it will review the details of the release 2021 R2 with additional explanations. Then Simon for the trial kitting, NPI, and we will finish with Paul for the PGM new features. At the end, I will also add some slides to communicate with you with the events, bonds, and its package, and the next also a date for the next presentation. So same thing, the way we present the new features, we use icons. When you have the first one, this one represents a demonstration, so we consider it's important to demonstrate, to spend time. It helps to understand the details. If it is not too complex, we can do just a quick explanation. We can add additional slides just to create a schema, for instance. Or we decide sometimes just to include the new features, but we don't detail because there are some new features or enhancements that relates to performance improvement or bug fixed. The same way, we always identify a new feature by blue icons that identify if it is covered by the global training here. Expert enablement is covered by an expert session, expert service pack, or a demo script in the demo package. So just make sure when we start to mute your micros, normally they should be muted. If you want to ask questions, feel free. You can use the chat room box. Okay, so you can write your questions and we will answer. Don't hesitate. So the new features presentation for the distribution part. So I will explain you the new features related to the ADC. So we are completing, in fact, the ADCs with additional functions and inquiries, such as counts, interface transfers, or subcontracting transfer, license plate number transaction also, LPN. I will also quickly explain the behavior harmonization on sales document types. And then I have listed some improvements of bug fixed. Okay, so the two first here, tax basis for imported purchase receipts has been corrected. And using the invoice button on a service contract or a service request might display as error message, and now it has been fixed as well. And for the rest, for the two remaining, it's just improvement on the response time for the container management and the purchase and shipment. So let's start with the ADC. So as I told you, we have added, in fact, 5 new functions and inquiries. So now we have the interface transfer, the subcontracting transfer, the stock count, so it's new, the stock change by LPN, and also the inquiry view stock by LPN. We have also improved the display in the view stock by product site transactions or view stock by location. So we have improved the details of the fields, and this will be explained just after. The benefits, of course, is the scanning and having a manual entry using the new touchscreen capabilities, and it's, of course, for the customer, a better customer experience. So if you open, if you have an Android device, such as a Zebra 9300, in fact, you can see here we have added an additional block called transfer. So now it contains the intersite transfer and subcontracting transfer. And the same way, in the stock control block, we have added the stock change by LPN, the view stock by LPN, and the stock count. The stock count by location and stock by product site have been improved as well. So this is what you have now in the release 2021-03. So here, in fact, the improvement, such as in the stock change creation. Now the title on the page is the name of the ABC transaction, and the subtitle of the page is the action to provide. So in this example, if you use the stock change, in fact, when you select your product, in fact, you can see that the first line here contains the name of the ADC transaction, and it is very important. In fact, you can see the action to provide. So it's a way also to differentiate sometimes in specific transactions when you are in the source site or in the destination site if you are doing an interface transfer, for instance. So we have improved the headers. And here you have the same example with the stock by location. Okay, so it's the same. The view stock by location has been improved as well. Here, in fact, we have dynamic display depending on the product. So if you compare with the 2021-03, in fact, the display of the field were static. So now, depending on whether the product is lot managed or serial managed, sometimes the field can be hidden or displayed. So it's dynamic. So here you have an example with the stock by location, and we have used the product row 424. So as you can see in the previous version, it was displaying in fact the serial number, whereas it is not serial number managed. And now, as it is lot managed, in fact, we have all the details. So it's dynamic. Okay. So next, for the products that are serial number managed with a receipt issue method, it has also been improved. So now it's dynamic. So here it's an example with the stock by location. So as you can see, for the same product that is serial number managed, in the previous version, the system used to display lot and sublot fields, whereas it's no longer displayed because it's not lot managed. And here we have the details, okay, of the serial numbers. Just a remark also, for this product, if you do the test, in fact, as it is stored in LPNs, license plate numbers, so in fact, when you select first the location, then your product, then your LPN and the serial number, you can see the details. The stock, you can see also the stock by location. So the stock by location. So here it's a bit different because here we are managing serial numbers with the global method. So it has also been updated. So now if you select your stock by location, in fact, in this example is BTB003 in the location A1C11. So in fact, the system gives you the details, and if you click on View All, you will have all the serial numbers for this product. So I can show you that right now. So it's an example here. So I am in Sage X3. I have to make sure I am in the right site. So it's FR012. So if I go to the stock, view stock by location, I've been disconnected, so you have to log out. Stock control. So view stock by location. So I select my location. For instance, is A1C11. So I have my different products. So the one I want to look is this one, BTB003. It is selected, and as you can see, it is serial number managed with the global method. If I click on View All, I have all the details. So this is the view stock by location that has been improved. We can also view the stock by LPN. So in fact, you have to select your LPN, and then for the LPN, you can see all the different products. So in this example, we have the following. If I go to stock, view stock by LPN. So I select my LPN, so the first one. Now here there is only one unique product. The product is a C1004, and it is in the location, the LPN is in the location Q01. The stock change by LPN. So you can also process a stock change by LPN. So in this case, when you select the stock change by LPN. First of all, you have to make sure you're in the right site. You select your license plate number. So the system displays the current location. You select the location destination, for instance, if you want to move from the location Q01 to Q02. Then you click on Create. So let me show you. So stock, you have the stock change by LPN. So the LPN I want to select is the box. So as you can see, the selection is dynamic. Okay, the system displays all the LPN starting by box. So I select 62. Then I select my location destination, POA 01, this one, the status, okay, so I can see the details of the LPN, next, and I can click on create. So I can see here that currently one LPN has been currently selected, okay, and I can delete also. The same way, we have added the account processing. So it's same as in Sage X3's interface. In fact, you can process the stock count in your ADC handle device. Well, for the hours using an handle device. So you can enter account for account line included in the stock count list. So this is standard. You can also create a new count line to be added to the stock count list, non-expected product. You can enter a zero count or leave the count at fill blank, and you can also process multiple counts if it has been required when creating the stock count list. Now, the prerequisite is that we have to create first the count list. Now, here you have an example. In fact, if you want to test it, you can select the site FR021 with the location A1C11, so you can see there is only one product, BMS001, with 8 units. So from there, you can create a count list. This example, you have the count list FR012-21-3. So you can process in Sage X3, or you can use your handheld device. When you select the stock count function, in fact, you select the count list, the one that has been created, and you can indicate here in this example the variance, for instance. So here you have 8, so you can indicate 9 and submit. So it's the same. So if you go to the stock control, you can see the stock count here. So you select your count list, okay, and then you can also enter your quantities and submit. You can also view your accounts or add a line as indicated. So it's finished for the ADC. So now I would like to present to you the behavior harmonization on sales document types. In fact, the why and the benefits. In fact, now we have an harmonization on the behavior, because in the previous versions, the general parameters, SAE type, SDH type NOR, were not, and also SDH type LND for the loans, were not used when the defaulting, in fact, the document type in document creation. So the benefits for the users is, of course, to allow a behavior harmonization in sales document types. Simplifies the behavior. Now, of course, we have, so this is behavior change, so in the development made by Sage, but also we have to consider that are included in this behavior the document types, the entity transactions, and also the parameter value. So you have to consider these 3 points. So if we list, in fact, the general parameters, so we have those general parameters for the different documents, such as codes, so it's XQH type. For the sales order, we have 3 parameters for normal orders, direct invoice orders, loan orders. We have the same also for the sales open orders, deliveries, subcontracting deliveries, normal delivery, etc. Delivery, and we have also for the invoices the SIV type. So I have selected the green color here for the font just to identify what has been changed and to highlight the fact that these parameters, general parameters, are not considered when you create a document. So in fact, the number of general parameters is the same as in the previous release, the 2021 R2. It's just the behavior that has been changed, has been improved. Let's do an example with the sales codes. I will show you an example with sales codes, sales order, sales deliveries, and also automatic generation. For the sales codes and sales order, it's just a reminder. Okay, it's not new, but it may be interesting to remind you the way it works. And then I will show you what has been improved in this current release. So here you have an example. In fact, the parameter SQH type for the sales codes, in fact, is at a user level. So that's why I have indicated here that you are connected with admin. So the default site for this user admin is NA011. And here we keep the value empty, so it's not indicated in the user record. So what happens when you create a sales code? Simply, the system first defaults the sales site, and then, as it is not indicated, the system will take the first value compatible with the legislation from the document type table. So document type table, the first one in the list is this one, okay, is SQL. Another example with the sales order. So this one, to demonstrate, the objective here is to demonstrate is what happens, it's still a reminder, but I would like just to highlight the fact that if there is a discrepancy between the indicated parameter and the legislation, the system will not consider the one indicated, but it will load the first one compatible with the legislation. So explanation again, in the order types we have those order types, SON for normal, SON for Portugal, and France, SON F. I have indicated for my user, because I am at the user level for this parameter, and in fact I have indicated SONF, so it's for the French legislation. Of course, if I create a sales order that is for a North American company, and if I try to load the document type SONF that is for the French legislation, there is a discrepancy, so the system will not consider this one, and it will load the first available. So it will consider automatically SON. So here, in this example, you can see the new behavior. For the parameter SDH type norm, it is at a site level, so just be cautious. It is at the site level. And for the site NA011, I indicate SDN U2. So when I create, the user admin creates a new sales delivery, so it defaults automatically with NA011, and of course it will load the value for the document type in the parameter SDH type norm. So here it's SDN U2, it's compatible with the legislation, so it is loaded. Just a remark, it was not the case in the previous version. In the previous version, the system used to load the default one, SDH. So it has been improved. The behavior is also the same for the automatic generation of sales deliveries with the parameter SDH type norm. The system loads automatically also the correct document type indicated in the same parameter, SDH type norm. I have also added additional information, so to re-explain, in fact, what is new. So the objective is not to read that in detail, but it's a standard behavior of the automatic selection of the document types. It's H3, so it's just a reminder so you can see the details, so you can read it later. So you have all the details you can read later. Okay. So next. So next we have, here we can see changes. Changes, in fact, it's a bug that has been fixed. Simply, it's when you, in fact, import receipts with purchase stock conversion, or in this example, you have 56. And in fact, simply, if the conversion between the purchase quantity and the stock quantity does not correspond to the conversion rate, here, in fact, the system in the new version, in fact, will block, okay, because there is a discrepancy. So you will have an error message. Of course, this is an example with a wrong data, okay, for the import. And if it has been fixed, so if it corresponds, so 500 multiplied by 56, it's 20,000. So now it's correct. The system is able to import correctly the receipt. So it's just a bug fixed. Then we have also fixed a bug in the creation of the purchase invoice from the service contract and also the service request. We may have a specific error message, so it has been fixed. And we have also improved the response time for the container management and the purchase shipment. So that's all for the new features in the distribution module. Concerning the next features, in fact, we are still going to improve the ADCs and complete with new features such as the quality control and the delivery return, customer return. We will include RED APIs for sales, and for the upcoming version, we will also include the record management, control sourcing. So this will be explained later. So that's all for the distribution domain. So now we can suggest Vincent to continue with the presentation. So give me just 1 second. So Vincent, it's your turn to play.
Okay, thank you very much, Hervé. So what I'm going to present to you is that it's not really a new feature because that was introduced in last version, 2021 L2 version, and I just presented it as in PowerPoint. Now I wanted to demo it. So what about this feature is the setup matrix features. That is about additional demonstration. So the details. From the version 2021 R2, there is a setup matrix option. Okay, so this is in web scheduling and also in X3. So X3 web scheduling is a tool which reduces the setup time for successive operations. And this is based on the X3 setup. It proposes a combination of attributes which results in a matrix definition. So this matrix is integrated in X3 web scheduling. As an option, the algorithm considers it in order to minimize the setup times. So the Filling Capacity Engine embeds now this new feature, and this functionality is user-friendly. It improves the throughput time in the workshop and minimizes delays. So in X3, I will demonstrate it. We talk about the matrix code. I will take the example of colors tool. And in the web scheduling part, that will result in such a grid. Okay, this is the matrix, the color matrix. And finally, I will run Definite Capacity Engine to see what happens. So we will take care about the setup times and check if those setup times have been optimized and reduced. So in X3, what is about in X3? So we will focus on a dedicated work center. This is the MAC 101 packing cabin A, with certain numbers of work orders here, and with dedicated colors and matrix attributes. And for the moment, we set up times 0 because they are here unscheduled. So I'm going to run it. But before, just a focus on the setup. In X3, it is about subparts, SFY027, 28, and 29. For example, we can just focus on 27. This is black standard to X, okay, as a subclass. We could just quickly visit the last tabs, which is the attributes tab, and just pay attention to the attribute which is color, and the value is black. Okay. Secondly, we can just focus on the dedicated work center. Repeat, this is the petting cabin A, and just have a quick look on the optimization matrix that has been set up, depending WUSC01. So we can just turn on it to make sure that we set it up, and we have the header with a grid, and we can just focus on dedicating values. For example, 4 and 5. If we go from white to yellow, that will take 2 hours of setup time, and if we go from yellow to black, that will take 3 hours. So in web scheduling, we can just run the infinite capacity engine to see what happens. So if I run it, I'm going to check if the system will optimize the setup times and see the results in the resource count directly. So I can just select this work center, as mentioned previously, and in the resource count to pay attention if it has optimized my workshop concerning the setup times. Here we see that we first placed the white colors, then the yellow and the black. So just to make sure that the systems organize it correctly, we could just cross-check with just the matrix that has been built by the web scheduler. And this is this kind of grid, I repeat. So from yellow, for example, to black, this is 3 hours. So we can compare yellow to black is 2 hours. So I have a quick look on it. From yellow to black, we have here 3 hours. And the 3 hours are set in blue in the main counts. Okay, they can be also checked in the second count as blue color also. So 3 hours. For the 2 hours from white to yellow, we can compare it. So from white to yellow, we can have white here, okay, and yellow. It is at the top of the last column, yellow. So it is also 2 hours. And when this is the time attributes, we have a diagonal here. It's 0 hour. So we can check that we have also 0 hours for the second and third white color. This is the same for the yellow and, of course, for the black. If I've chosen to run it differently, perhaps with another setup, I could compare the versions and to pay attention about the results. Among all, we have the percentage of the setup comparing with next and rate. If I choose the setup matrix optimization, we just take this amount of percentage of setup time. If I change the setup and don't consider the setup matrix, that can be higher. So we can spend more time to set up all the paper. So that's it for this demo. I will just wanted to finish just one quick slide. This is this one. We also on this version created a new general parameter just to avoid errors when exporting work orders. So that's it from my demonstration. I will hand over to I don't have the choice. Sorry. Yes, I have the choice. So to Simon, that will present you the NPI and also the announcement concerning the trial kitting. So that will be Simon Rashbrook if I find you in the list. Okay. So here it is, and I press OK. So Simon is going to present you. So Simon, you should have the hands.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good start. Hello everybody. I'm going to present some of the new manufacturing features within 2021 R3. I'll give you a brief overview of the new trial kitting from the sales order line. It's only a minor change. And then a bit more of an in-depth discussion on the new NPI functionality, which is probably the major manufacturing functionality that's changed in this release of the software. So we're going to look at how you can run a trial kit directly from sales order line, how we can now create prototype works orders, how we can create separate BOMs for each revision of the design product, and then look at how we can track those orders through and how we can release products. And I'm going to talk about these in a bit more detail. So, firstly, the trial kitting. We've now got the ability to run the trial kit directly from the sales order line. It basically means that when you're in the sales order, you can now see if you've got sufficient raw materials to be able to manufacture or kit the product. This is a change to the trial kitting that came in the early releases. So a new trial kitting action has been added to the quantity order field on the sales order line if a BOM exists for the product. So we can now see that we've got a trial kitting option to allow us to go and check the quantities. When we click on that, the system automatically copies the key information from the sales order to the trial kitting screen to be able to run the trial kitting. So the sales site will be copied across to the storage site. Today's date will become the reference date. Clearly, the order product will become the parent product. If we're using major and minor versions on the order, it will copy across the major and minor versions. And the order quantity will be copied across to the calculated quantity. So the important thing is the major and minor versions, only if you've got them on the order, obviously they will be copied across. The other thing just to be aware of is the way it selects its bill of materials when it's doing the trial kitting. There's 4 stages in this. The first stage is if there's no BOM set against the product, the action trial kitting will not appear. So if there is no BOM, you don't get the option, quite rightly. If there is a manufacturing BOM, it will take that as the next step. So it'll look to see if there's a manufacturing BOM and use that on the trial kitting. The only exception to that is if it finds 2 BOMs, 2 manufacturing BOMs for the same product, in which case it will just take the first one in the list. So, in normal stage terms, X3 terms, you've got BOM code 40 or 41, it will take BOM code 40. If no manufacturing BOM code exists, it will check if there's a subcontracting BOM for this and then select it. So it takes, first checks if there's a BOM, then checks if there's a manufacturing BOM, then checks if there's a subcontracting BOM, and finally, if it can't find a subcontracting BOM, it will see it will select the sales kit for that BOM. So it's working through various steps to select the actual BOM for this particular trial kit. You can, though, override that as you go through. So I'll show you now in the system itself. So if I bring up X3, and we'll go and look at a sales order. So we've got a sales order here, and it's for a product bin 071. And we've got an ordered quantity of 10 on this sales order. So I click on the action button next to the quantity. We've now got this trial kitting option available. So I can click on the trial kitting, and I maybe put in the order on, I may want to check I've got enough stock to be able to kit it or manufacture it.
The system will populate automatically the storage site from the sales order. It will then, because on this I have got a manufacturing BOM, it has selected the manufacturing BOM option. It could be I've got a subcontracting BOM or a sales kit, and I could change it in this particular instance, but I'm going to leave it defaulting to the manufacturing BOM. It's also automatically populated the BOM code 1440. Because that's the first, in this case, it's the only one it's got. But if it had more, it would take the first one it comes to. Again, in the trial kitting, you could go and change that to be a different BOM code if you wanted it to be. And then obviously it's pulled in today's date. It's pulled in my product, and it's pulled in my calculation quantity. So I've got the basics very quickly to be able to do a trial kit on this particular product. So if I click OK, it's going to go away and trial kit this particular materials. In my case, I'm trying to make 10, but I've got a maximum quantity of 799. So I've got plenty in stock to be able to manufacture this item. And obviously, it then showed me the components that go with it as well. So that was just a quick overview of the new trial kitting functionality that's been put onto the sales order lines. I'm going to move on now and start talking about NPI and the new product introduction functionality. You've seen this bit before, so I won't show you again. And this is where quite a lot of development work has gone into. So we at Sage have put a lot of work into the new NPI functionality. The key element around this is the fact we can now create a prototype works order. So we've got the concept to be able to create a new design product, and this builds on the functionality that's been in the previous two releases, but allowing us to actually test the building of that or the manufacture of that product. And we can also create a separate BOM for each revision of the design product. So maybe we have multiple designs we're testing, but we can create multiple BOMs for them now. And on the back of that, create multiple works orders for it to see how they work. We can now do production tracking of the prototypes, so we can track them through the system and check they are working properly. And we've now got a new release tool built into the system to be able to release our design products as official live products in our system. And again, I'll show you that when I do a demonstration. So the key thing about this is it allows us to, the key benefit is we can now test our designs in actual works orders. So in a production environment to check they do work properly. The previous versions allowed us to create a design, but didn't allow us to test it. But this version allows us to test it now. And we can have multiple design revisions that we want to test. We may want to try 2 or 3 different design revisions through our manufacturing process to see how they work. So we've now got the ability to do that as well. So what are these? The first is a minor change, but a very useful change, is they've added a notes field onto the new product introduction that allows the approver to be able to add notes to say why they're either approving it or rejecting it, or changes they want to make for it. Again, I'll show you that in the demonstration phase. As I said, we can create a separate production BOM for each revision of a design product. So it allows the design engineer to taste different revisions using separate production BOMs in a prototype works order. We can now, as I said, create a prototype works order to actually test the production of this product. And we can run shop floor tracking on it. The key thing about shop floor tracking is it will warn us it's a prototype order, because it may be the products have to go into a quarantine location. They can't go into the standard location. So we want to be warned when we're putting the order on that they are going into that area, or they should go into that area. And the final thing is we've now got, once we've been through success with the approval phase, we get the ability to release revisions of the products and revisions of the BOM codes within the tool. And there's a new tool to be able to do that, which I'll show you as well. So just to be aware of what I'm going to show you here, we can have one product design code, which we could in the previous versions, which may have a couple of revisions again, which again we could in previous versions. The part that is new is we've got the ability to attach specific BOM codes, which could be different design BOMs, to each of those revisions, and then create separate prototype works orders for each of those revisions. So it gives us a lot more flexibility in trying things out in a new product introduction environment. So for design items. So that's enough of boring you with PowerPoint. I'll now go and show you how the software works, which is a much more interesting thing. So we're going to go to new product introduction. Same basic functions as came in the early releases this year. I've got a product design here, product NPI 001P, which is currently at revision 1 of our design. So we've currently built 1 revision of this design, and we're doing this against production site NA012. With this design, it's already been submitted for approval, and as you can see down here, it's been approved for prototype. So the approver has seen the item and he's approved it for a prototype. And you'll notice that we have already, as per the previous versions, we've published the product and we've published the bill of materials already. So we've already got a bill of materials for this, and we've got a product already for this. And the product in this case is FIN079. So let's start with where the things have changed then in the new release. The first thing is we've got this approval information which is now available. So the approver can write notes onto this to say why they've rejected an item, some more details about their approval process, and explain any changes they may want to make to the design process. It could also be used by the design engineer to write notes in response to this. So it's a text box that can be used to hold a lot of information about the design process as it goes on. We've still got the standard header and line text we had on the previous versions. This is just an easier way of getting to the information regarding the approval process that you're going through. So that's the first change that's been made to this. The second change, and in the previous versions, once you created a design and published the bill of materials, you couldn't amend that bill of materials unless you did it in the normal bill of materials tables. The system's now been updated to allow us to change a design code BOM within the NPI functionality and then to republish it as a bill of materials. Now, it may be you changed a product, you changed a quantity on the bill of materials, or you may have changed a costing on the bill of materials. I'm just going to demonstrate this easily by just adding a new text line to this BOM. So I'm going to go and put in a bit of text on a new line. Imaginatively, I'll call it bike with belt, because it's a bike with a belt. And I'm going to go and save that. Right, so I've made a change to my design BOM, but the bill of materials I've already published is the old bill of materials. What we've got now, what has appeared now, is the published BOM has become highlighted again. We can now use it again. So if I click on Publish BOM, it will give me a warning telling me this design BOM revision has already been published. Do you want to republish it? So do you want to update the BOM I've already got there with this new BOM? In this case, I'm going to say yes. And I can save that. So what I've now got is my new BOM, which is BOM code 40, but it's now got this text line on it as well. So I haven't had to go through the process of updating the BOM manually. I can do it directly from the NPI functionality. So a nice little change that just speeds up the process of designing bills of materials. I'm just going to make that available to use. The other thing you also spot, and this is, we are in the BOM here, it's got new product in design mode available up here. So it's a warning that whenever I go into a bill of materials, I'm going to see this new product is a design product. It's not a live product. Makes it easier for people, anyone looking at the stock files, to be able to see that. And if I show you the same thing in the product file, so if we go into products and pick 079, which is the one I've been working on, you'll see I get the same warning. So anyone looking at the product file can see this is a new product that's currently in design mode and is not currently available. And in fact, its product status is in development. So it's in development at the moment and is not being used in normal works orders and normal sales orders. And in fact, just to show you, if I go and try and put Fin079, which is a product in the stock file, it's just in development, onto a sales order, look at any sales order, I'll go and pick a customer. Let's pick that one. I go down to my lines and put Fin079 in there. The system will immediately give me an error, a warning error, saying this product's in development and you cannot create a sales order for it. It's quite right, but it's not. We haven't released this product yet for sales. It's only in development at this moment in time. So it will stop someone by mistake putting an order on for a product that is currently a development product. There is in the roadmap change, hopefully a change to this to allow you to put prototype sales orders on that you may want to issue to customers, but it's not in this particular release. So at the moment it will stop you putting a sales order on for a design product, which makes perfect sense because you don't want to put sales orders on for design products. So we go back to our new product. We've got our revision, we've got our we've published the product, we've published the bill of materials. Now we want to try actually making one of these in our factory. We want to see how it works as a production item, because obviously that's the best way of testing it. So we're going to create a works order for it and take that through the production process and see how it functions. One additional field we've now got available to us is this maximum quantity. So I can specify that for this particular works order, for this particular product on a works order, I can specify I only want them to make 2 of this particular item. I don't want them to make any more than works orders because I want them just to stop someone putting in, let's make 200 of these bikes by mistake. The approver can specify what quantity they want to be manufactured this works order in the production area. So I've got a design, I'm now going to create a works order for it. So I've got a works order button. So let's go and put a works order on. So it's got my site because it's come from my NPI details that it knows which site and it knows which production site. If I click through the order, the system will automatically populate the product because it's coming from NPI, so it knows which product I'm going to create this order for. But it gives me a warning saying this is a prototype. You can only create a prototype works order. You can't create a normal works order for this particular item. And you'll notice at the top, it has now flagged it as a prototype works order. So it's giving some control to it. So anyone looking at orders in the order file can see easily which ones are prototypes and which ones are actual works orders, so they can be differentiated. And clearly in your left list, you could create the left list to be able to differentiate between prototype works orders and actual works orders. So it's pulled in my site, my product. It's now automatically populated the quantity because I've told it in the NPI, I only want to be able to create 2 of these. And the system has picked that information and put it into my release quantity. I'm now going to put a date on for, as you would do on any works order. And I'm going to use a trial routing. We've got a trial routing set up here to use this particular, with this product. And I'm going to create the works order. So it's done your normal average cost calculator or cost calculation, and all the standard documentation you have with works orders will be available. So if you have a production slip that goes around with your production, all that documentation is available. It's just like creating a new normal works order. The only thing is identified as a prototype one. So if I go and pick up my works order number now, I can now go and track that works order. Just show you that we can track it as a normal works order, even though it's a prototype. So I go into works order tracking. I'm going to, because of the time in this demonstration, I'm going to do it as a complete tracking, just to populate the whole thing in one file swoop. So it's, I'll put my order number in, and I'm going to then track it through. I'm going to populate the fields as you would do with normal tracking. This is no different to normal tracking. The only difference, obviously, firstly, it's going to give me a warning to identify that this is access to this product is unauthorized as it's in development. The difference between this one and the sales one was an error and wouldn't let us proceed. This is literally a warning. It's just warning us that it's a development product and we can't, it's not a normal product. So in the header, it has flagged it as a prototype. So we know it's a prototype works order. And on the line, you'll notice on the manufacturing line, we've got a little warning triangle here to tell us that this is a prototype product. It's not a normal product. So anyone going into this from outside of the design field can see this was a specific prototype tracking and was it's flagged as being a prototype product. It may be because when you manufacture this, where you specify destination location, it may need to go into a particular quarantine location, so it's easy for people to be able to see these are prototype products. So I'll track that. Right, so we've now tested our works order. We put a works order through. We go back to NPI. We've done a test on it, but we're not happy with something on it. We want to try a different revision on this. Just make a tweak to the order, a tweak to the bill of materials, sorry, to see if something else will make it a bit more efficient when we manufacture it. So we create a revision 2 of this product. So I'm going to duplicate what I've got at the moment and make it revision 2. So it's the same design product, it's the same product we're making, it's the same design product code. I've just now got a revision 2. And I'm going to say that we've currently got in the design a bike headlight rear, which is a COM022. I'm going to change that and make that a new product we're trying out, which is the COM026, which is the new rear light, which is the new design of a rear light, to see how that works. So we've now got a revision 2. We've amended our bill of materials to adapt to what we want to try out. But we'll notice here that we've got a published product, but we currently haven't got a bill of material published, because we've created a bill of material for the original item, but we haven't created a bill of material for this particular one at the moment. So, design engineer's made the change to the design. He's now going to say, right, now I want that to be approved again. So I'm going to submit that for approval. Again, I'm speeding up the process here because obviously I'm in a demonstration environment. Normally someone will be sending these, then going in looking for the ones that need to be approved and going through the approval process. I'm doing both steps to make it, otherwise you'd be here for 7 hours and you might get a bit bored of my voice after 7 hours. So I'm going to select my approver, and I'm going to select my approval date, which will be today. And I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to approve this for prototype. Because it's now been approved, I can publish the bill of materials. So I'm going to publish a bill of materials, and I'm going to make this BOM code 41. I don't want to use 40 anymore, I'm going to use 41. I'm going to create and I confirm the duplication. Okay. So for BOM code, for design code NPI 001-P, we've now got 2 revisions and 2 different BOMs published for it. And just to prove this is not all smoke and mirrors, if we look at FIN 079, we've got a BOM code 40, which is using the bike headlight rear, and we've got a BOM code 41, which is using the new rear light. Again, they're both in design mode at the moment, so they're not available to be sold or manufactured on normal orders, just prototype orders. Now, obviously in the real world, we would now raise a prototype works order for that particular item, and we'd track that prototype through, and we'd see the way it works and check we can fit that light properly and it fits fast enough and we're not taking a long time to fit it. So you do your normal manufacturing test process for your development process, where you run a works order through and see how it works. Again, because otherwise it'll just be an NPI presentation, and I'm sure Paul's chomping at the bit to tell you about PJM. I'll cut it short and won't show you that whole process. But it would be exactly the same process as I did before. I'd go to works order and I'd create a works order, but we're using BOM code 41. Right, so we now finished our design. We've tested BOM code 40, we've tested BOM code 41, we've been through our process. Our manufacturing people have looked at things and said, oh yeah, that works well, or that doesn't work well. We're now happy with the design, and we want to actually approve the design. So we want to actually move it forward to be a production product. So in this case, I will say it's now approved for production. And I'm going to change this to production as well, because both people, the design engineer and the approver, are approved for production. And I'm also going to do the same for revision 2, just to show you what happens when we approve both versions. So that's approved for production, and the design engineer is happy with it as well, so he's set it to production as well. As I say, I'm doing 2 people jobs here, working hard here, keeping this thing going. All right, so we've now moved both of these forward to a production status, which means we can release the products into the live stock file as proper products, not as development products. So we now have a new tool that's been added, or a new action that's been added, called release, which allows us to release the product out into the world. So it can be given as a full product in the stock file. So first thing, we've got what do you want to release? Do you want to release version 1, or do you want to release version 2 of the product? And if you click on version 1, it pulls in the bill of material code that's relevant to it as well. So it knows the link between the release, the revision, and the BOM code. You can only release one release. So I'm going to release revision 1, but it is possible I may want to release both releases of the bill of materials. It may be the fact that, yeah, we've created one, we know one works well, but we've got a product supply problem with one of the products, so it's a bit slower coming through. So we want to have the ability to make that second bill of materials, even though it's not going to be our normal bill of materials. So I could select, I want to use revision 1, but I want to also release BOM code 40 and 41. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to release BOM code 40. I think releasing too much excitement in one day. So we're going to release revision 1, and we're going to release BOM code 40. So I click OK. It's telling me I'm releasing revision 1, which is what I'm doing, and it's against NA012. So I say yes to that. So it gives me a small log to tell him it's updated the product, it's updated the design bomb, and it's updated the production bomb. So it's completed its process now. But if we go back and look at the NPI screen, we'll see that revision 1 has been released, which is exactly what we wanted to do. It's released it. Revision 2, though, has been abandoned because that's the one that did not get released. We didn't release that out into the big bad world. We only released revision 1. And also, these have now been locked. Because they've been released, you can't make any further amendments to these. You can't go in and change these design bombs. If you want to create a new, if you want to start this again, you create a new one. You can't change them once they're here. But the information is still here for auditing purposes in the future. So if you need to go back and look at a design bomb and what work and what notes were put onto it, all the notes are still there. We've still got notes down there in the, all the approval information is still there. So that's all still available, but it's not, it stops you going in and changing it because obviously it's been released. And if we look at Fin 079 as a product now, we'll see it's now active, and there's no longer a flag up here to say this is a development product because it's now been released into the live files and is available as a released product to be able to use for production or sales or whatever you want to use it for. So yeah, what I talk you through is the new functionality in NPI. The key part of that being you can now create prototype works orders to be able to try out designs in the real world and make sure you can make them. And secondly, the ability to have a separate BOM code against each revision. So you can specify easily which BOM code you're using against which revision of it. And at that point, you've probably heard enough of my voice. But if you've got any questions, please let us know. I'm now going to hand over to Paul to give you the PJM side of the new functionality. So let me just present that. I'm sure you're on here somewhere, Paul. Oh, there you are. Over to you, Paul.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Very good demonstration. Very clear. Okay, for NPI. So let me show you my part, which is PJM. Okay, first of all, hello everyone. First, so PJM for this release 2021 R3, we have the new features. The first one is in the weekly timesheet. Now you have a new button that allows you to duplicate the week. Okay, so imagine that you're working several weeks on the same project, and you enter the time almost the same way. So rather than to enter the time for each week, you can just use the copy function, copy week, and it will copy. And then I will explain to you in detail. And another function, another enhancement, which is I can also show you here just a few things that we put in the time entry and weekly timesheet. So weekly timesheet copy, okay, that is a function that allows you to duplicate the week. So normally this is the screen, that the weekly timesheet screen, and now you have this button, copy week. Okay, so you click on that button here. What happens is the system will show you, sorry, the source week that you want to copy to destination week. Okay, and the source week is the current week that when you click on the button, and the destination week by default is the next week, the following week. But you can go to here and you can modify the week number, or you can change the date. Okay, and then the system will copy from the source, which is this week, to the destination week. So what information will be copied? Okay, not everything will be copied, because if in the destination week you have already some record, the system will check. check if you have existing record, then it will not override, it will not copy, because we don't, otherwise you have duplicated entry. So we check for that. So only new entry will be added in the destination week. Okay. So let me show you that in a few moments. And then also you need to know that there's a new parameters, PJM, TMI, auto. Okay, that parameters allow you to set the time that you copy. By default, the status is awaiting validation or validated. Okay. Awaiting validation means is this yellow like that. Okay, and if you set to the validated, mean that become green. Validated means that the employee, he just validate his time so that the manager can check and can approve. All right. Awaiting for validation means he entered the time, but he need to double check if the time he entered is correct or not. Okay. So let me show you that in X3. So I go to weekly timesheet here. By default, I can see this either this week here. Okay, I just want to change the employee so that I can see. Okay, so here these are all the project task operation. The operation has been assigned to that employee. Okay, so for this week, it's all thing that he needs to do. Okay, he had to enter the time for Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and so on. Okay. Now, the function copy here allow you to duplicate. But before that, let me enter some time here. So Monday, today is Monday, so I have work on this on Monday on that operation here. I work 4 hours. Okay. And then what else I can say? Oh, on Friday I will be off for 1 day. And then also Friday next week I'll be off as well. Okay, but for this week I can just create a new line for that 1 day off. So I click on here, I click on new, and then I'm going to select the time category, which is let's say sick leave or annual leave. And then I will enter here 8 hours. Save. Okay, you can see that I have enter now 2 lines. It is 4 hours. I work 4 hours, and then on Friday I will be off. Okay, so let's have a look at the next week. Next week, right now I have nothing. I have no time here. I don't have the Friday either. Okay, so I just go back to the previous now, and here I'm going to click on the copy week, and by default the week is week 41. Okay, this is next week, so I get okay to that. And then now I can see in the log file that it say that, oh, 2 records have been processed. This is operation 10 of that task, of that operation has been copied. And then also time category off, which is I entered for the Friday. So let's go and check for the next week. I'm going to check here week 41. And now you can see that week 41, I have now on Monday, it is 4 hours, and Friday 8 hours off is annual leave. Okay, so that is the function copy week. Okay, and let me continue to show you different things for the PJM. Okay, the second new enhancement, which is several different things for the time management. Okay, and the first one is that split own lines. So in the weekly timesheet, when you enter the time, you can have several entry lines for the same task, for the same operations. Okay, but when you go to the screen, the system will show you only 1 line, unless you click on the split line, and then it will put the detail. It will split the lines, so you can see that you have 2 lines. You know, let's say it's one day you work overtime, okay? For that operation, then you can say, today I'm working 7 hours normal time. So you select the time category standard, and then if you work overtime, then you can select time category additional overtime, and then you enter the number of hours. Let's say you work 1 hour overtime, okay? But when you see on the weekly timesheet, it shows you only one line. To see, in order to see 2 lines, you have to click on the split. Okay, that is a quick explanation about the split. And then you have also a new action on the weekly timesheet, which is the currency rate and remaining load update. Okay, the remaining load update is quite interesting. That allow us user to jump into the assigned time, and then he can just reduce the time that has been assigned, or he can add some on another employee, assign time for another employee, for instance. Okay, he can view and also he can modify. Okay, so on the weekly timesheet, on the time entry detail screen, now you have analytical dimensions. That is new. Okay, that exists in the time entry before, but not in the weekly timesheet. So now it's now in the weekly timesheet now. And then some function like time inquiry, you have the field operating site to ease the searching of the time. Okay, so let me show you the screen. Okay, so that is the screen that you can see split on lines. You can see here also remaining load updates. Here in the time entry, you can see also here remaining load updates. This is a time inquiries where you can see that you have now operating site, then also financial site. And this is the screen time entry detail. That the time entry detail when you can open that from the weekly timesheet, and then now you can see that you have analytical dimension. Okay, so let me just to show you just a quick one on the time split. Okay, let me click 39 for instance. So in here that you can see, if you click on here that button, you can see that you can see time entry split. Okay, on some other screen you can see also, it depends on where you have 2 lines, and the system will show you that 2 or several lines, you can see that you have time entry split. But now in the new version, you can just click on here and split on lines. So if several lines have split lines, then it will automatically split on lines. Okay, here I do that. Okay, look like I have only on the last line, last line here I have 2 lines. So it's split so that you can see at once. Okay, and what else? You can have also here the function called remaining load update. Okay, you can do that from here. So when you go to here, you can see that for that operation, for that task, for that project, that is the employee that has been assigned to that operation, and the planned load was 30, and he has done 17 now. Okay, remaining is 13. Okay, now you will be able to modify thing here. Let's say I'm going to move the 10-hour load to another user, another employee, like that. Okay, so I can put here, let's say remaining load 10 hours and save. Okay, right. So here, sorry, I can edit 20. Okay, because we need to do 30 to 20 here. Sorry, I apologize. It's 10 hours, 10 hour remaining load. Okay, so this user has 10 hours to do, so remaining load is 10 hours. So the function remaining load remaining load updates allow you to do that. Okay. Save it. Okay, so that was the improvement of PGM, remaining load update, and also a copy week. Okay. So what coming next in the next version 2021 R4? Okay, it will be released later this year. You can see that you will have the function weekly timesheet activity template. Okay, so the weekly timesheet, you can have some template. Let's say that you can create template, and then from the template you can apply to each week that you and when you enter the time. So it will save time to create manually align because you have already a template. That's one thing. Another one is the schedule invoice update. Okay, so up to now, if you want to update the schedule invoice from the sale order, you need to go to sale orders, and you click on the schedule invoice, and then you can modify the date, you can modify the invoice day, you can modify the percentage, and so on the sale orders. But from the next version, you will be able to do that directly in the PGM. It means that on the PGM, it will show you the schedule invoice of the sale orders, and then when you modify the date in invoice day, and when you modify the percentage on the schedule invoice in PGM, the system will automatically update the sale invoice, the sale orders. Yeah, so that's a very good features. And then the main features of the next release is the time billing. Okay, so up to now, you can see that we have a milestone billing, we have a progress billing, and now we have a new function, time billings, mean that the system will allow you to bill the customer based on the time that the employee has entered for the operation, for the task. Okay. All right, but we will talk about that on the next session. Okay. Right, so I'm going to hand back to Hervé.
Yes. So let me share again my screen. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So thank you very much for your presentation, Paul. Moving further, so I would like now to review with you the COX expert sessions catalog, so it has been updated. The next also expert sessions in Sage University, so if you want to register, there are available places. The Sage Experience Package review, we have a specific communication to French-speaking partners, and also I would like to give you the next presentation dates of the release 2021 R4. So, as you should know, it's important for you as a colleague or partner to attend the new features highlights for each release. And then you can identify your needs within your team's members, but also within your customers and leads. And depending on your needs, you can contact us. You can also register to say in the Sage University to the available expert sessions, scheduled expert sessions, or you can also ask us to create specific expert sessions. So we can also provide on-demand expert sessions. And it's also important, and I will explain that in detail just after, to download the pre-sales events package delivered by the CEO Center of Excellence also, because it gives you additional elements for your demos to pre-sales. So the catalog is this is the current catalog. It depends on the domain. We have sometimes new features or changes. It's not the case for the finance, but you can see the list of the expert sessions delivered by the Center of Excellence. Concerning the distribution, we have added a new expert session called a new expert session that is the Sage X3 procurement. Just checking that all the people is currently muted. Check. I am muting people. Okay. So the Sage X3 and procurement as outcomes, in fact, the benefits of integration to your organization, such as the reducing spend on goods and services, greatly reduced processing costs, less time on non-value added activities, stronger internal controls, better visibility into the entire process, and better communication across parties to optimize decisions and strategies. So this is the outcomes of this expert session. For manufacturing, there is no new sessions, same also for the tools. And for the development, we added a new expert session called Introduction to Sage X3 GraphQL API in Practice. So the duration is 0.5 day. So it's half a day. It's delivered by Bruno or Olivier Montel. And there is a prerequisite, in fact, to attend this expert session is to have attended the standard course in Sage University or having a knowledge on GraphQL. The outcomes, in fact, of these expert sessions is how to form GraphQL queries, to use GraphQL with market tools like Postman, to authenticate with GraphQL APIs, and understand the good Sage X3 web service choices when using multiple APIs. So for the architecture and BI, there is no new session, so it's still the same, and same also for the attitudes. If you want more information about these expert sessions, don't hesitate. You can send an email to us, Bruno, Lydia, or to me. The next expert sessions in Sage University are listed there, so they are delivered in English. So we have expert sessions related to distribution, manufacturing, tools, and development. So they are sorted by date, so you can register because they are available places. The communication to French-speaking partners. We suggest you, for those who are interested, to register to the Sage University sessions. So we have fundamentals sessions, advanced, and expert. The same, we also have trainings and expert sessions. Here it's expert sessions. Technical also, technical and development sessions, so they are currently indicated. For partners who want to register, you can use this link in Sage University. And partners can also download the Sage Service Catalog at PDF format by clicking on this link. So the Sage X3 Enhanced package, well, in fact, this is in fact the dossier folder completed by, in fact, the pre-installed global ISVs or EOM, so such as web scheduling, SCI or SDA and others, localizations such as specific users by country, country-specific data, consultant and pre-sales assets. Here we are talking about the demo scripts. So this enhanced package, in fact, provides additional demo scripts for your pre-sales demonstrations and COX demo tools. So tools to ease the preparation of demos. So here you have an example, print screen of landing page and visual processes, okay, provided by this enhanced package. So you have inspiration such as a shipping workbench, crossdoc, CRM, web scheduling. So it's complete. The same as well, we can provide process libraries. So here you have an example with distribution and manufacturing, with distribution overview. So the consultants can use these libraries for the demos. When you download, in fact, the enhanced package. I will show you just after where is the link to download it. In fact, in the virtual machine, you can click on the folder demo scripts, and in these demo scripts, you will see the available demo scripts. Here is a list of the current available demo scripts for your demos. So you have demo scripts for the distribution, finance, manufacturing, business intelligence, and miscellaneous demo scripts. If you want to download the enhanced package, currently the last release is the 2021 R2, sorry. So you can click on the link, DLM download, and the system will download automatically an exe file. So on clicking on it, you can download, in fact, the virtual machine. After this presentation, I will send you 2 PDF documents that explain the detail of this enhanced package. So an email will be sent to you. Concerning the next NFH presentation, so it is currently available and identified. So the distribution and manufacturing presentations for the release 2021 R4 is the 18th of January 2022. So we will have one presentation in the morning and the same one in the afternoon, and for the finance is the day after, the 19th. So you can register right now and also spread the word. So that's all for this NFH presentation. Is 20 to 6. We have finished. Maybe you have questions. Let me check the chat box. Okay, anyway, if you have any doubt, any question concerning this presentation, these new features, don't hesitate to send us an email to me, to Hervé, to Lydia, or Bruno. An email is also provided for you to fill in the Microsoft Form survey for the release 20 for this presentation. So don't forget to fill in this survey. It will take you 5 minutes. So that's all for the this new features highlight presentation for the release 2021 R3. Thank you very much for attending this presentation. An email will be sent to you with the link to the recording and also the PDF presentation. That's all. Take care and stay safe, and see you soon in January.